Welcome to Lesson 5, Navigating in QuickBooks Online. To begin this lesson, go to the QuickBooks Online demo account as discussed in Lesson 4. When you first sign into your QuickBooks Online account, you are directed to the homepage dashboard for a glance at what is going on with your books. This homepage is a snapshot of the status of your income, your expenses, your profit and loss, and you'll notice that you're presented with individual panels. Let's look at this expenses panel, and you'll notice that in the upper right-hand corner, there's a drop-down list that allows me to change the period of time that I'm seeing. Right now I'm seeing this quarter, but if I drop it down, I can change to this year or this month, and it will update the panel to show me a summary based on that time period. The right-hand side of the dashboard displays a summary of your bank and credit card accounts so that you can check current balances at a glance. On the left-hand side of the screen is your navigation bar. The navigation bar allows you to navigate through different screens in QuickBooks Online. Some of the menu items in the navigation bar have a tiny arrow out to the right of them, and that indicates a flyout menu will appear with some additional options. Notice if I hover over banking, I see a submenu appear that has banking, rules, and receipts. As I roll down my navigation bar, you'll see some of the items do not have a flyout menu. For those, you just click on the link and it takes you to that area. So let's say that I want to go to my customers screen. I would go down to Sales, and in the flyout menu I would select Customers. If I want to go to my vendors screen, I would go down to Expenses, and in the flyout menu select Vendors. At the top of the navigation bar, you'll notice a button that has a plus sign on it and says New. And that button takes you to a menu of common tasks that you'll do on a daily basis, such as write checks or perhaps make deposits. So anytime you want to create a new transaction, this is the button that you'll select. One other aspect of the navigation bar that is worth mentioning is the hamburger icon. That's the three bars that you see just up to the right of the plus New button. The hamburger icon will collapse the left menu, which is handy if you want some more screen real estate as you're working. To bring back your navigation bar, you just click the hamburger icon again and it will reappear. In the upper right-hand corner of QuickBooks Online, you'll find four icons. The first one is Help. Clicking the Help icon will take you to the help system for QuickBooks Online. You can type a question and get an answer, or you can click a button to talk directly to someone at QuickBooks. We recommend that as you're transitioning to QuickBooks Online, that you contact someone within Ironworkers for assistance. Start with your district council contact and then move up the chain, perhaps directly to Gay Schmidt or myself, and we can assist you with transition questions. But if you have a general QuickBooks Online question, you might find your answer in this help system. To the right of the Help icon is a search icon that looks like a magnifying glass. Clicking this icon brings up a box that allows you to search for transactions that you've entered. Let's pretend that somebody called you and questioned a check. Maybe they haven't received it, but you know you've written it. You can search by transaction number, by amount, or by date. I'm going to do a search for $18.97. When you do a search, be sure to include both the dollars and the cents. As soon as I type $18.97 and hit enter, I am taken to a transaction with Bob's Burger Joint, and I can examine the transaction. Now, if I want to close the window after I examine the transaction, in the upper right-hand corner, I want you to notice you have two X's. The upper X will close your entire browser window. You don't want to click that because that's going to exit you from QuickBooks Online. You'd have to log all the way back in. But notice there's a bigger X just below that. Clicking that X will close the current window and take you back a step. Let's do it one more time for practice. In my navigation bar, I'm going to select Expenses, Expenses. I'll click on one of the credit card expenses and look at the details. When I'm finished, I simply click the lower big X. There's one more thing I want you to note in the search box, that it shows you recent transactions. These are things that you've just done in the past few days. So if you make a mistake and you need to quickly get back to a transaction, this is a quick way to do it. To the right of the search icon is a bell icon, and this is for notifications. If any of you are Facebook users, you might be familiar with the notifications that appear in the upper right-hand corner to let you know that someone has commented on one of your posts or contacted you. This is exactly the same in QuickBooks Online. It's just a flag. If there's a message for you to see, they will show you that you have a message up in the notifications area. It might be things like an alert that a law has changed that impacts your accounting, or it might be indicating that a payroll report is due, something like that. To the right of the bell is the gear icon. Clicking the gear icon takes you to a large menu of options for customizing your QuickBooks Online experience. There are some tools here that you might occasionally use. There are some lists that need to be maintained. But in the first column, there is an option called Account and Settings. This is one of the first places you will go when you log into your new QuickBooks Online account. In the Account and Settings screen, you need to click on Company in the left-hand side and edit your company's information. You do this by clicking the pencil in the section you want to edit. For instance, in company name, you should be putting in your full Ironworkers Local Union or District Council name exactly as it appears on legal documents. You also need to enter your EIN number, your federal ID number, and after you have all of that information updated, click the Save button. Notice there are some other sections to this company form: address, contact info. Click the pencil over to the right and update the section. Once you've updated it, click Save. Another thing that you want to do when you get your new QuickBooks Online account is go down to the Advanced tab. Most Ironworkers Local Unions run on a fiscal year that begins in July. So you need to edit this section and change the first month of the fiscal year from January to July. Again, don't forget to click Save. Another area on this Advanced tab that you want to check is that your account numbers are enabled. In the Chart of Accounts section, click the pencil and make sure that Enable Account Numbers and Show Account Numbers are both checked, and then hit Save. And then finally, you'll want to go down to this Categories section and make sure that you have turned on Track Classes. You do not want to check the box that says Warn me when a transaction isn't assigned a class. You only need to check the box that says Track Classes, and then click Save. When you're finished making your updates, click the X in the upper right-hand corner. Again, remember, click the lower X, not the one that closes your browser. I'm going back to the Gear menu, and I want to emphasize that most of the items in this menu aren't used on a regular basis. You might go in periodically and use some of these tools, but they aren't things you do every day. The everyday tasks, remember, are accessed with the New button in your navigation bar on the left-hand side. You should now feel comfortable navigating QuickBooks Online. You know how to use the dashboard, the navigation bar, the New button, and all 4 icons in the upper right-hand corner of the screen.